Hi, Richard Brook here. It's now Monday the 9th of January 2012. I'm back in urban living. I got back, just finished Vipassana on Saturday. Vipassana meditation retreat, 10 days. And in my blog that I made about Vipassana, I spoke for a little while about how we get this kind of dynamic that happens when your spirit feels more or sometimes less in your body depending on what you're doing. And I had like a really crazy, like ridiculously pronounced example of that earlier. I'd spent most of today doing admin stuff on the computer, which I'm actually trying to avoid doing at the minute, but you know, sometimes you have to, don't you? You know, you've got a pile of emails and things to do. And I got to about 6:30, and I was going to go to my yoga class tonight that I go to as a punter, just as a normal student. And I all of a sudden started to feel incredibly present in my body, incredibly alert and awake, and it was just ridiculous. You know, it was as if there's some part of me when I'm going to go off and do something like that, maybe sometimes dance or yoga, or when I see my own acupuncturist too, I all of a sudden start to feel immensely present, and it's as if there's part of my spirit which like really comes alive and awake, almost like it's getting ready to imbibe, you know, and digest what I'm about to go and do. As it actually turned out, I got all the way to my yoga class and it wasn't actually on. So I ended up going to a 5 rhythms dance class instead, which I do quite a lot of anyway. I've done lots of longer workshops, and try and dance at least once a week. And for those of you who don't know what 5 rhythms is, it's like a spontaneous ecstatic dance movement practice. You don't really need to know any steps, and it works similar in some respects, or identifies that energy moves in a similar way to what 5 elements acupuncture does, in that energy moves in a cycle. So it moves through waves of expansion and contraction. When you go to a 5 rhythms class, you dance through an entire cycle of energy. So they play 5 different rhythms, which takes you through these, and each rhythm associates to wait for the old train to pass. Okay, right now, where was I before? I was rudely interrupted by those trains. Yeah, so into a 5 rhythms class. So as I was saying, 5 rhythms works on the principle that energy also moves through a wave of expansion and contraction with different phases in it. And so you get to one of these classes and they play 5 different rhythms of music, and the way I kind of relate to it is that different areas of your spine vibrate on a different frequency, so as do different organs of the body as well, and also different organs correspond to different emotions, so therefore different rhythms do. So by playing all 5 different rhythms of music, you get to move all areas of your spine, exercise all organs in the body really, and also go through different, you know, also activates different emotive states. And I've found it a tremendous help over the years to me to stay balanced really. You know, it's a great thing that I'd recommend you do. You also get to connect with people, and that was also a big thing. I mean, having spent 10 days doing the meditation retreat, I've obviously spent a lot of time there sort of solitary really, not really engaged with anyone. So I also noticed, you know, quite markedly when I was dancing tonight, what an effect it has on your heart energy as well. I mean, your heart energy's got a massive electromagnetic field, and it tends to get engaged when, you know, it's all about connecting with people, your heart. You know, we open our heart up to someone, and equally as well when we're around people and we feel their heart energy, it resonates with our own. And it was really marked when I was dancing. I could really feel my chest starting to expand and open, and just feeling a bit warmer, like really activating that fire energy in me. And made me realise as well how sitting in the meditation for 10 days, it's quite an austere kind of way to be. And you know, sometimes we need that stillness, but quite definitely also we sometimes need to spark off our fire as well. The other thing as well I really noticed is that you know, again, like I keep moaning about being on my computer, but we get quite bent over when we're on our computer, and it's not necessarily even, in my opinion, you know, you see these images of people sitting at a desk and being really bent over. Well, I perceive it to actually be made even worse when you're on a computer, because your computer gives off like electromagnetic energy. When you think the different organs of your body, they all vibrate at a really beautiful subtle frequency, and you've got this massive mass of electromagnetic energy. It's really discordant actually to yeah, it's just really abrasive, I find, to my heart energy and the other organs too. So I find it makes it even worse. I kind of get bent over even worse when I'm sitting in front of a computer. And again, I could really notice tonight how, having spent 10 days meditating and out in a really natural setting, my perception and state of thought and mind and clarity was really good. And I could feel today, having been on the computer all day, how I felt like a little bit kind of drowsy and out of it really. And I know TVs, like watching the television, sort of irritates your hypothalamus. So I wouldn't be surprised as well if equally being on a computer. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if being on a computer, with that kind of, the way they flicker at such a fast rate. I mean, we see it as a constant image, but I think the pictures apparently like flickering at a million, whatever flicks per second or whatever. I think it must really sort of irritate part of your brain, to be honest with you. And that's why we get into this hypnotic kind of state when we're on them and get kind of sucked into them. And it was just so nice. I mean, I got a lot of satisfaction from the work I did today, to be honest, when I was on the computer. But I really realised when I went and danced and moved that we do need to, sometimes I work the mental channel all day. You need to work the physical channel as well. And it's like when I went and danced and moved, I could really feel like I was in my body and moving all the, allowing myself to gently start to unwind a little bit and just ease tension out of different organs. And because it's still quite deep in winter, I was really careful not to push, and especially as I've been quite still as well with what I've been doing lately. So you don't want to push out. I'm quite keen actually to stay quite ensconced in my little kind of almost like hibernation phase. And there's a couple of times when I was dancing with people especially, it really started to draw me out. But generally I felt like, I didn't push, I didn't really hold back, and my dance was just really gentle and it was really nice. And I said, yeah, and it was also really noticeable when I was dancing with other people, how, especially when I was dancing with people of the opposite sex as well, every chakra on a male and female is oppositely charged, so we complement each other. Like as an example, a female's heart energy extends outward, it's got like a positive pole to it, whereas as a male we tend to receive into that centre. So every centre's like that. Every centre from a male to a female has got the opposite polarity. Yeah, and when I was dancing, especially when I was dancing with ladies, I suddenly felt how my consciousness becomes much more than just your own. In that moment, you've got the power of like two people's energy really dancing together, and how much bigger and stronger I'd feel. And that's by no means like an excuse to, if you're feeling depleted, to kind of vampire off anyone else's energy or anything like that, but it's just really noticeable. I mean, extreme examples, obviously we're in a massive crowd of people, at a football match or whatever it might be, a concert, the amount of energy that you feel coursing through you as a result of the connection with the people around you. And it's just again like really noticeable tonight. We're dancing on my own, kind of nourishing my own energy and being with my own dynamic. And then as soon as someone else is dancing by me, just really seeing those other areas of the body that might get open and moved in relation to dancing with those other people. So yeah, it's been a good night, and now I'm going to go and hopefully have some sweet dreams. Thank you.